everyone, Near Mint Nerd here on the I Got Issues channel. Today we're going to do our top 5 original graphic novels, hardcover edition, which is part 2. A few days ago I put up the part 1, which was softcover editions. Original graphic novels are of course graphic novels that were designed to be in the form that I'm going to show you today, and were not originally released in any other form such as comic singles. Okay, so I think I probably talked enough here up the top, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start the top 5 actually with a couple of runner-ups. I have 2 books I just wanted to show you just outside of the top 5. First one up is Batman, Birth of the Demon. By Dennis O'Neil and Norm Brayfogle on the art. So this came out in maybe like 91 or 92. It's actually here today, not because it's the greatest original graphic novel in the world. It's not bad, but because it's the first one that I ever bought that was an original graphic novel. So it's got a little bit of a special place in my heart. This is the origin of Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, as they call him in the movies, but I've always pronounced it Ra's al Ghul, and I will continue to do so. So this is his secret origin at last revealed. His conflict with the Batman settled in blood. Now, if you're getting this for Batman, you're going to be disappointed, because Batman is barely in it. He makes a little bit of an appearance towards the end, and a little bit at the beginning as well, but mainly this is the Ra's al Ghul story. And as such, it's not a bad story. I don't, to be honest, don't love the art. This painted style doesn't always work for me. It's okay. It's, you'll notice it's a little oversized, which is nice, having that little extra width and height to the book. Looks attractive, decent story. I remember at the time this being really expensive, actually. Yeah, look at this. $30 Canadian. Oh, you can't see that. Let me see. There we go. $30 Canadian, and this was, and even $25 US. And the year was like 92. So that's like, $50 by today's standards, easily. So you can imagine that when I picked this up, I wanted to absolutely love this thing, and I didn't. I just enjoyed it, and that's okay. But I wanted to show it to you because, you always remember your first. Okay, the other one I wanted to show you in the runner-up column is Richard Stark's Parker the Hunter, adapted and illustrated by Darwin Cooke. This is just a gorgeous book and would have easily made the top 5. However, I wrestled with the fact that it was a novel first, and the novel had already been released years before this. And, Darwin Cooke is really just adapting that novel. I wasn't sure whether I could really completely call it an original graphic novel. So I did not select it as my top 5, despite it being absolutely a beautiful work of art. Look at those gorgeous, gorgeous pages. You cannot go wrong with Darwin Cooke. It is such a tragedy that we lost him this year and that we're never going to be able to get any new work from him. It's so sad that we've lost both him and Steve Dillon in the same year, 2016. Really rough. But we'll always have this treasure right here. And I think there's 3 other follow-ups. I only have the next one. I don't have all of them, but I do have the original books. I also really love Donald Westlake. That's who did the original books. Donald Westlake, although he was writing as Richard Stark, he had a pen name for this series, but it was Donald Westlake. So this, I think this would probably fall into the number 3, maybe 4 slot traditionally, but I'm going to eliminate it from the competition simply because I'm a little conflicted about whether it's an original graphic novel, if it's already been released as a novel. And obviously it's subjective, but doing it this way allows me to show you one other one that maybe I wouldn't have been able to show you. So that's how I want to run it, and that's how I'm going to run it. All right, so next up we have Fables, 1001 Nights of Snowfall, in the number 5 slot. Written by Bill Willingham and with illustrations by several artists. The highlight for me is that there's a 2-page Brian Bolland story, which is very rare to get these days. Brian Bolland, of course, did Batman the Killing Joke and Camelot 3000, but mostly he's known as a cover artist, and a tremendous one at that. In this book, I'm sure that by now I've flipped open this page and you're looking at a beautiful Brian Bolland panel right now by the magic of editing. If not, well, I've messed up somewhere. And then there's also Jill Thompson, Charles Vess, Mark Wheatley, James Jean, like just who's who of great artists. I'm actually surprised that it was all written by Willingham. I'm surprised that Matt Sturges didn't write any stories because, of course, Matt Sturges wrote a lot of the ancillary titles, such as the Cinderella chapters and the Jack of Fables series and so on. But he did not contribute to this book, strangely. So this is Vertigo. And basically, this is an anthology of side tales that take place within the world. I know there's some people have been wondering in the comments whether anthologies should count as original graphic novels. I've decided they should because, you know, these stories have not been seen in another format. And that makes them original, and it's in a graphic novel format, which to me ticks all the boxes I need ticked. Okay, our next book is Orbiter, and I'm going to pull back the curtain here a little bit and tell you that we had a little bit of a camera malfunction, so I have to do half the video again, starting with Orbiter here. So I apologize if, the camera angle changed or the anything changed, the volume or anything. Many apologies. So here we go. Orbiter by Warren Ellis and Colleen Doran. This is a great science fiction book. A real mystery in space, as it were. So the idea here is that 10 years earlier, a space shuttle called Venture was launched, and it went missing for over a decade. And where we kick off this graphic novel, it crashes back to Earth, and they kind of investigate the rubble, and they discover that there's alien tech inside, and one of the pilots is still there. And they got to figure out what's going on and what happened in that 10-year span. And so they got to kickstart this program that's been shut down for 10 years and try to, put their best people forward and try and figure this out. And it's a great book, great little story, great art. You're never going to go wrong with a Warren Ellis story. Warren Ellis story. That he's a terrific writer, British writer. Colleen Doran's art is fantastic, and I'm actually surprised this wasn't released as comics first, like another one of his projects, Ministry in Space, which was 3 oversized issue with him and Chris Weston. Another high recommend. But they went the original graphic novel route, and I'm happier for it because it's a beautiful book. You can also get this in a softcover edition if you so choose. Number 3, Barnum by Howard Chaykin and David Tishman. This is a really interesting story. It's kind of like a what-if story or a revisionist history story. And the idea is Tesla is actually a bad guy who's trying to destroy the world. And so the U.S. government goes to the greatest showman on earth, Barnum, from the Barnum and Bailey Circus. And the idea is that by cover of his circus, he's going to put together all his freak show people, and they're going to act as secret agents to figure out what Tesla's secret plan is and shut him down. Great book. It's got, very topical because Barnum, the ultimate showman, it kind of reminds me of Donald Trump in a lot of ways. He's all about the spotlight, makes some bad decisions. So, you got that little added bonus there to tie that. It makes it a very compelling read now. I think you can also get this in softcover. Great book. The art is just so good in this. A lot of you know what you're getting with a Howard Chaykin and David Tishman story. They also did another Vertigo series called what was it called? The name escapes me. I'm probably gonna, if you, knowing me, I think that if you look right about here, we should have that information for you on the screen, because it's dropped out of my memory, but it's American something. Regardless, this is a terrific book. I high recommend, and my number 3 pick in the original graphic novel Derby. Number 2, one of my favorite writers of all time, Jeff Johns. I've been following him from the very beginning with Stars and Stripe for DC. Is JLA, JSA, Virtue, and Vice. And it's a classic team-up book with the Justice League of America and the Justice Society of America. David S. Goyer's Jeff Johns' co-writer. Carlos Pacheco, in my opinion, one of the top 5 artists working today. This is just the perfect package. It's a great story, terrific art. Every character in here, and there's probably about 30 characters, they're all well represented. They all get a moment to shine. So the idea here is the 7 deadly sins that are kind of trapped in the Rock of Eternity are released, and they possess various members of the Justice League, including Batman. So, you know, your gluttony and your greed and so forth are all kind of represented now by these members of the JSA and JLA, and they all have to team up to stop them. And it takes place at Thanksgiving because it's kind of a classic trope that these two teams would always get together for like a celebratory meal, and then all heck would break loose at some point. Great book. Finally, my number 1 pick, Top 10, The 49ers. Alan Moore and Gene Ha art. And, you know, I gotta say, I was always gonna have an Alan Moore in the number 1 slot. I was actually looking at the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Black Dossier. Another great book, but it's a little inaccessible, so I was a little worried about recommending that one because, you know, I don't want to put forth something that's, you know, even I found extremely challenging and worth it in the end, but instead I'm going to put forward a more popcorny pick because this is just a tremendous story. And, you know, this was, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the America's Best Comics line of books. Top 10 was a book about a area called Neapolis, which was where all kind of the superheroes and robots and automatons live within a bigger city. And they have their own police force within it called the Top 10. And this book kind of goes back to the beginning of, it's kind of the origin of the city and some of the people in it. So it's the end of the war, World War II. There's some, you know, it's kind of an allegory for anti-racism at the time. But people are a little anti-robot and anti-superhero. They don't trust them. And so they kind of all move into this, you know, the birth of this city, Neapolis. This fella here, Jet Lad, is his superhero name. He eventually becomes the commissioner or chief of police of this place in the regular Top 10 series, you know, when he's much older. So this is kind of him as a young man, first starting out. Some of the things that this police force has to deal with are this vampire gangster, these vampire gangsters, a lot of anti-robot sentiment, just like, you know, it's got an old-fashioned feel to it. You can see like it's, there's some sepia tone pages to it. Mostly the color it has this kind of drab color tone on purpose. But the art is so beautiful, and the story is so good, especially if you're a fan of Top 10, which I am. This is, you know, just a wonderful package. I wish they would revisit this universe more. Gene Ha and Xander Cannon actually came back and did a mini-series that didn't get finished, unfortunately, that was a follow-up to the original Top 10. It was really great, too. Missing that Alan Moore magic, but still very good. But overall, love this universe, love this world, love this city of Neapolis, love this book. High recommend. Number 1 on my list of original graphic novel hardcovers. Okay, so that's it. I may have seemed a little flustered and rushed through the second half of this video because, like I said, I screwed up, didn't have enough room on my recording device, and had to do the whole thing again. But we got through it. I think we still had a good time, right? So please take the time to subscribe if you enjoyed the show. Like it. Send me your comments. I'd love to hear your top 5 lists. I know they're going to be different from mine. We all have different tastes, and that's great. You know, that's what I love about the world, is that we're all different. So, you know, give me a tag when you can. I hope we can do a lot more of these videos. I have a couple of more coming this week. And I guess that's it for today. So this is Near Mint Nerd signing off on the I Got Issues channel. See you next time.